Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the JKWD podcast, where somehow we're 146 episodes in and Kelvin is still laughing at my intros.
I think perhaps I should get therapy for that. However, it seems harmless at the time, so we'll leave it where it is.
I suppose if you're going to laugh at me, this is a good spot to do it in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And look, it's not like I haven't given you any material to laugh back. So
this is a true story. This is why we do this anyway, right?
Yeah, we like to have fun.
Okay. Good to eavesdrop on. Good to follow along. How you been?
Pretty good, but you moved away from the microphone, or either that or you started whispering, and I don't.
Yeah, I think I just kind of swallowed my words there. Hey, yeah, Kelvin, how you been?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm here in upstate New York, and I can see on most yards there's more grass than there is snow right now. The stuff is melting, and if it goes like it's going, it may be done by the end of the day, and that may be a magnificent thing. I'm not even looking at the weather forecast because I don't want to know what's going on.
Yeah, don't look. Is
just going to enjoy it for the day. Yeah.
I think of the 11 years I lived up there, I think 8 of them we had a surprise April snow.
Oh, absolutely. The first year I moved here.
Oh, that was the Mother's Day storm, right?
Oh, we had one of those too. Well, the first year I moved, here, we came in here in November of 1992. Yeah, November, and the week before Thanksgiving, it started snowing when I hit Binghamton, which is an hour plus away for you people who don't know where Binghamton is. It started snowing, and I swear it didn't stop until June. That was the year we got 192.1 inches of snow in Syracuse. And it was like, wow, that was crazy.
And you stayed anyway.
I've been here for 26 years. Moving on 27. It is amazing. Man, what's wrong with me?
Be surprised how often I ask that question.
Oh, have you answered it yet?
No.
Oh, good. Because I don't want you to come up with an answer, because then you might stop talking to me. But no, so life is good. I'm good. I actually took a walk the other morning when it was only 47 degrees. I was enjoying that. So, or was it 30? No, it was 37. So we're doing okay, but it's I'm having a good time. I'm alive. I'm healthy, so far as I know. Plan to keep it that way. I'm relatively happy. I'm relatively cute, and they still let me go to Toastmasters, so I'm in good shape.
Hey, and I'll vouch for that. Relatively cute, and ladies, he's relatively single.
That is true. That is true. Resumes will be taken, and we'll leave a blank for it. No. But anyway, yeah. So how about you? What's going on in your world?
Oh, things are good here. It's been a productive week in Joshland. We are relaunching my solo podcast, and I've put a metric crap ton of work into it this week. And we'll be excited to announce that maybe in a week or two when it actually does relaunch. So, but we also did some kind of behind the scenes work on this podcast too, on JKWD. So last week's episode with Nick Jankel hasn't come out yet while we're speaking right now. But by the time you hear this one, it will have been last week. So that'll be the first one on the new platform. So if that comes out weird for you, just get in touch with us so that we know that. You can hit us up on Twitter or Facebook or the website or somewhere just say, hey, this looked weird. But it should go smoothly. It seems to have gone smoothly
Just out
so
of
far behind us.
curiosity, what does looks weird look like?
If it doesn't do the thing you expected it to do.
Okay. Like if it doesn't show up?
Like if it doesn't show up, or if it shows up 3 times, or if it shows up with 6 other episodes.
Yes, there is that.
If when it comes out, it takes all 145 other episodes with it, and you get 145 new JKWDs in your podcast app. Anything that if you don't notice that we moved, if you're just finding out a week later while we're talking about it that we moved, and then it went fine.
Good. Okay, I was just checking because sometimes obvious isn't to me.
Well, if it does anything that it didn't used to do, then it did something different.
Okay.
But we're also in new places. You can get us on Spotify if that's your preferred podcast reader. You can get us on Google Play now. All the places. We're on TuneIn. I don't know what that is.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't either, but we're there now.
Good.
We're there now.
Maybe they're listening to us on it right now.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Oh, that's right, because we moved this too, didn't we? Oh,
right.
no, wait a minute. You were talking about yours, man. Okay.
No. We're talking about JKWD. We were talking about this one here.
Yeah. I need to walk away and come back so I can catch up.
Right. Okay. So we're brought to you this week by Vitamin K Daily. If you want to wake up to a reminder of how wondrous your world is every day, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, 52.4 weeks a year. You can do that by going to vitaminkdaily.com. Kelvin's looking at me funny. But there aren't just 52 weeks a year. It averages out to about 52.4.
I thought it was 51, 50, 0.25. But why split hairs? That's all right. It's that leap year catch up every 4 years.
Right, exactly. gives that extra tenth of a week.
That out there. That is the only thing you get from me for science. That's not neuroscience. Well, except for the one I put out last week that told you how often the sun went around the Earth went around the sun and how fast it was twirling at the time. Oh, you should get that issue. As a matter of fact, I think I'll make that a podcast today.
Oh, good call.
I'll do that. Yeah. Anyway.
So vitaminkdaily.com, you can sign up for 4 weeks free. And after that, it costs you less per month than a cup of coffee.
5.9 cents a day for your attitude health.
Like Siri says, less than a cup of coffee a month. And even if you're like
Starbucks, you can buy me for 3 or 4 years.
Even if you're like me and you make just about all your coffee at home, you probably buy 1 cup of coffee a month. So you can probably swing that. That's vitaminkdaily.com. Get your daily dose of, I would say your daily dose of positive is really the tagline, but your daily dose of wondrous world.
No. What that really is philosophical supplements for your attitude health.
Right. Okay.
How you like that?
I like
that without saying
I think we should play the music right here. When Josh needs a heart out, we go to the music.
I don't know how we get off onto those tangents.
I do.
I think it's because we're using video. They can't see us on video. One day we should actually publish the video feed. Nah, it might not work. We might have to try that. See how that works.
We can do
so people can see what we look like when we're talking all this trash. I mean, stuff. Conversation.
Yeah, we can definitely make that happen.
Working that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, life is good.
Excellent. So it's the end of March, dude. This is the last episode of March, which means it's the end of the first quarter. Time.
How did that happen?
Yeah, time's moving, man. Time is moving. And I know we just did a few weeks ago, we did kind of a resolution reset, but Yeah, goals are marked by they're marked by incremental steps, and you hit deadlines along the way, and you hit milestones along the way, and this is a good chronological milestone. Also means that if you have your own business, your taxes are due. So get on that, people.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just received word from my accountant. We have filed my first extension for the year. Yeah, no.
your first extension for the year. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Do a few of these. Well, it also means that if you're an individual and you haven't filed your taxes yet, you only have a couple of weeks left because April 15th is coming.
That's true.
I forget about that because we did them as soon as we got our W-2s this year.
And if you're a corporation or an entity, it's today. Oh, no,
well,
it's not.
It's not today because
you are so screwed.
Yeah. It's not today because we are not live.
No, we're not. Oh, man. Give it up for the time warp. Yeah.
Time traveling in podcast land.
There you go. Okay.
So anyway,
9, as they say, it's an old laughing thing, right?
I came into this year with no particular expectation.
Did you?
No particular goals because we had the baby.
Yes.
And we didn't know what that was going to mean. And we're still kind of you can't put a baby on a schedule, really. I mean, you can try, but sometimes they get hungry at 4:00 in the morning and then you don't get your something done. Or sometimes you're recording something and they start to cry and you can't record with a baby crying because then all people hear is baby crying. And so I have been good about taking additional steps. Like we're gonna, as I said in the intro, we're gonna relaunch my podcast. It may be relaunched by the time this comes out, but it'll be close. We'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting to look at daycares for part-time. That'll actually kick me into a routine if we do that, which, you know, God knows how I love routines.
Yes, you do.
And
I'm working on creating some myself, but that's another podcast.
And I've been continuing research on what will be the Better Humanhood book. It'll be, you know, kind of a manifesto. It's going to be a long project. I was hoping to have a pitch by the end of the year, and it still might happen, but we're about a quarter of the groundwork research in. So we may be looking more mid 2020 for the book proposal, but that's a check-in on where we're at with that, and hopefully we'll have a better idea by the end of Q2. You know, so 3 months from now we'll be talking about this stuff again, I'm sure, and we'll come back to that.
All right.
But I know I'm gonna tread lightly here.
I can't wait to hear what's next.
I know you had made an intention to have a book done by the end of February, and it's not done yet, but you have plans and ideas of how you're moving forward on that. Where are you at with where?
Missed it by this much.
Yeah, where are you at with that and the other stuff that you were hoping to get done?
You know, I've put a lot of stuff into play, which tends to be one of my weaker strengths. But we are moving forward on all of it, just not as quickly as I had anticipated. The book is essentially written. What we need is some final formatting, and I've been through a couple of things recently, and what I learned in a magnificent 30-day challenge recently is it's not the how, it's the who.
Yeah, you and me both have do it all yourself itis.
Yeah. So my only problem really is for some reason I've convinced myself that I need to do everything myself. And there's only 27 hours in a day, right? So sometimes I run out of time and stuff like that. So what I'm doing now to move these things along is training myself to let someone else help. You know, we did MKMMA. They told us 3 years ago, or 3 years ago for me, how long ago for you?
Yeah, too. I took it.
Nobody does it
sessions.
alone. Nobody
Yeah.
does it alone. Nobody does it without a mastermind. And I fought that. But the fact of the matter is, if you are a creative person and you're doing things like starting businesses and doing podcasts, and you know, there is a end point to the amount of time that you have. So if you don't those people who talk about productivity, if you can't outsource some things, that and the wisdom I have right now is outsource the stuff that you want done that you're not good at. I'm really, really, really passionate about a lot of stuff that I suck at. So what we're doing now is putting some of those steps into place. So by the time we have the next quarter podcast, I expect to have a lot of progress to discuss.
Right. Yeah. And you can go back to our episode with Ari Mizell too, if you want to hear some of the tools that he uses. He's a productivity expert.
Oh, yeah. Yes, let's do that. I may have to do that myself.
Yeah.
And there's even more now because people are falling out of the woodwork about what to do and how to do it and stuff to do it with. And then I added some other ambitious accomplishments to my year. So I'm either going to get wildly stressed out or rich as heck.
All right. So I vote for the latter, by the way. I'm rooting for the second. And
I appreciate that. And next time I hope to have more details on what's
as you kind of grow in that direction, though, you know, feel free to, you know, say, hey Josh, how would you approach this? Because I just in the last week, as we're recording this, have given up on the do-it-yourself-itis and hired some stuff out.
You did, as a matter of fact.
I did.
Tell me about that.
So I'm happy to point to some tools that might help you a little bit.
Excellent.
And if I volunteer to do any of it, slap me around, because the whole point of getting rid of the do-it-yourself-itis is not for me to give you more work and you to give me more work.
Well, you know, I was going to say, if you're doing it for me, I'm not doing it. So it works on my side.
Right.
Just saying. However, I did note you actually tried that a few minutes ago before the podcast. You actually worked on thinking about volunteering for something. And I'm not going to let you do that because I like you. And and when you start to hate me because I actually gave you that task you asked for, I don't want that to happen. So we will stay friends and we will both learn to outsource as appropriate. And then we'll write a book about it.
Excellent. Or we'll have somebody else write the book.
There is that. Well, I sent you a podcast last week.
Yeah. You sent me a podcast a couple of weeks ago about tools that, and if I still have it somewhere, I will put it in the show notes.
Really good. I'll find it. We can put that in the show notes. Good guys have some good courses. I forget his name right now, but I have a system where I can find it, so I'll do that later.
Well, I'm pretty sure you texted it over, so I can at least look in my text messages while we sit here and talk about me looking in my text messages.
That's all right. So anyway, so so that's what's going on with me. So, and you've done a lot of stuff on your side. So what's next for us?
Well, I think next for us is we got to just keep going, and we want people to, yeah, I'm still scrolling through my text messages, and it was episode
We'll find it later.
213 of Nick Sonnenberg's podcast on well, no, it's not Nick Sonnenberg's podcast. It's he was the guest. The Becoming Superhuman podcast with Nick Sonnenberg on the magic of automation and outsourcing.
Yeah.
How do you like them apples?
They talked about some pretty wild stuff in that episode. Those guys don't do anything themselves. That's amazing. And that's like how to run an empire without doing
right. Well, and really what it is it's taking the 4-hour work week and updating the tools that are available and actually doing this stuff rather than just talking about having read it.
Yep. So
yeah,
by the next podcast, we will have implemented. No, maybe not quite. We're working on that.
Some of it, maybe.
You've automated. I can talk. Lips will.
Yeah, I have automated.
You have automated a number of things.
I have, and the tool I use for that is called If This Then That. I have TTT, and another tool I'm starting to use more is Hootsuite.
Really?
Because now Instagram allows direct posting via third-party tools. So
really?
It means that we can actually do it. We can post to Instagram from a computer instead of we can access Instagram from a computer instead of from our phones.
Right.
Yeah. There used to be a workaround where you could switch your browser into mobile display.
Yeah.
And upload to Instagram from there. But then Instagram introduced infinite scrolls, so the add a photo toolbar doesn't actually show up anymore.
Yeah. Well, they found out how to shut that stuff down. But it's good. So right after this podcast, right after we finish this recording,
yes, sir,
we're going to talk about that other thing you just talked about.
Okay.
Because I really need to get more into that. I mean, these guys had some incredible stuff in that podcast.
So some of the things that we want to encourage other people to do right now, and as much as this podcast is hey, let us talk about this stuff in public, stuff we're working on so that people can learn along with us. Here are some of the steps to actually heading towards some of the stuff that we're doing. One is make sure that your goals come with a measurable endpoint and milestones along the way. Make sure that you've got some deadlines, and quarters and months or holidays. They're all good chronological markers for deadlines for things. And the end of quarter one, for instance, is coming up this week. The end of quarter two is coming up in 3 months. If you want to have something done by July 4th, that's another good chronological marker. It's basically the middle of the year. It's basically end of Q2. If you want to have something done by Labor Day, that's another good one. It's not, that's a whole month from the end of a quarter. If you want to have something done by July 31st, that's a good a deadline that isn't an arbitrary date. If you want to have something done by somebody's birthday, that's another good one. But you gotta put those without a deadline and without markers along the way. It's really hard to put together a big project with a long deadline and hit it without cramming it in. And by cramming it in, it could be at the end or at the beginning. I tend to do the latter. If you give me a big project that needs to be done someday, I'm either going to do it right now or I'm not getting it done. If you tell me it needs to be done the end of the year, I'm going to do it right now rather than starting it on December 20th.
And a lot of times the quality will suffer.
Right. Either way, because you don't want to cram it in because you're right, the quality suffers. whether you cram it in now or whether you cram it in at the end, if you hit those milestones along the way, you say, okay, in order for this to be done at that time, I need to have this done by then, and I need to have this done by then. It's really just like getting to work in the morning, right?
Yep.
If you have to be at work at 9, then you know what time you have to leave the house to get there. If you have to leave the house at such and such a time, you know how much time you need to you need to figure out how much time before that you need to wake up so that you can get dressed and get in the shower and get the kids lunch packed and get them off to the bus stop, or whatever you're doing, how much time you need if you're going to the gym, if you're doing whatever before then. Just start at the end and work your way backwards.
Yep.
And then consider if there are other tools to help you get the stuff done. Yeah, if you've got a budget for it, good. If your budget is free, there still might be good tools that you hadn't thought about.
So maybe on the next episode, we'll talk about some tools.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. All right. So I think we're kind of in good shape for the day. What do you think?
I think so. And
now that we
got some inspiration to go do some things.
I was going to say we talked this through, and now we're like, okay, let's end the podcast so we can go do some stuff.
Exactly.
All right. So
there you go.
Hey, thanks everybody for being here. Remember to go to vitaminkdaily.com to subscribe, get your 4 weeks free, and then pay just a little bit every day to be reminded of how awesome your day is going to be. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.